What's going on, everybody? I'm John J. II, and this is Fantasy Podcast presented by the Gin Sports Network. I'm here joined with Seth Conklin and Brandon Smith. Stainer, how you guys doing today?
Doing good, except my lock of the week missed, or lock of the day, not week. Jeremiah Grant was supposed to have 5 boards. He just ended the night with 2, but he did have 21 points. I knew he was going to have a good game, so it was wrong. I should have went points, but instead I went boards, and I missed it by a few, so not too good on my end.
I have Grant on my fantasy team.
Yeah, he had 21 points, so you got points there at least.
You need like 30.
Yeah.
Smitty,
But
how you
it is
doing
good
today, man?
for me.
Give me some intros.
What do you mean?
Just tell me how you feeling, man.
Oh, feeling good. Glad to be here again. Second time on the show. This time it's a fantasy podcast.
Yeah.
So we are we're directing ourselves to different avenues. And not my most exciting guy to talk about fantasy football, because I'm not first place, but we got some potential. We're still throwing trades out there. We're still fighting.
Exactly. It's good. So, we're happy to bring Smitty on as an analyst here. You'll be seeing a lot more of him. You saw him on the Gin College podcast a few weeks ago, and provided a lot of good insight. So we'll be looking forward to seeing him a lot more. And
he's actually dropping a few of our first segments that you'll be seeing coming this week and next week too. Funny segments, good segments. They're funny, but they're serious, so it's gonna be a good time. I'm excited to see what comes too.
Yeah. We got some segments that Smitty will be bringing out. Stainer will be bringing out, and pay attention to that word that I just said, Stainer. Pay attention to that, because that's gonna be a very pertinent topic in these segments that are coming out. So, without further ado, let's talk about some fantasy football, guys. Let me know. Tell me how your teams are doing. Give me an outlook. And we'll start with Seth. How are we feeling about our teams this year? We'll talk about the Gin Sports Network Fantasy Football League right now, and you can go off on a tangent in some other leagues if you want. But give me a league outlook. How's your team looking?
Really good. If you pull up the episode a couple weeks ago, you'll see that I was saying that, man, I had a really good team and my record didn't show it. I had to be like the best 2-4 team or whatever it was out there. And I'm now 4-4. So that's something starting to come into fruition. If you go ahead and click on my team real quick, just why I'm talking about, we won't dive into everyone's team. But, I mean, like I said, that's a really good roster to have a losing record in the beginning of the season. Smith still hasn't been pulling his weight, but everybody else across the board has. Even that Ty Conklin pickup for the tight end got me 10 this week. It was more than he was projected.
What a terrible bench.
And the Calvin Ridley's – now scroll down. First of all, Devin Singletary started out the season hot. Michael Carter just got 32 points. Mark Andrews is actually my starter.
Good luck playing.
And then Calvin Ridley's a baller, but he's just going through the mental health issues, so he's stepping away from football. But I'll still be fine, because I got Shenault hasn't been performing because the Jags suck. But hopefully by the halfway through, we're only about halfway through the season fantasy wise, not real life wise. So hopefully by the second half of the season, they start connecting him and Lawrence. But until then, I'm good enough right now. I know you're not a Singletary guy, but he was getting more carries than Moss at the beginning of the season. He's still getting that one target right there. So we'll see how it goes. And plus, if I pair him with Allen anyways, it gets me a couple extra points because Josh Allen is my quarterback. But yeah, so I have a decent enough roster. Best rosters in the league. I mean, Austin's is hard to beat with that combination of Zeke and Eckler. Michaels is really good too. Superlative is looking good. Stainer did improve off that trade with him getting Chubb. He did give Austin Eckler, but I will give him credit that Chubb's not as hurt as I thought.
Chubb hasn't done nothing for me. I haven't even used Chubb. My first time using Chubb last week, and he had 7 points.
But he's gonna come. You gotta think, like I said, we're only halfway through the fantasy season. Mm-hmm. He's not injured long term. Kareem Hunt is down now, so it's gonna be. I mean, he got that touchdown stolen away from him with their other backup, but Chubb's gonna get.
Don't forget, I also got Keenan Allen as well. All right, I got Chubb and Keenan Allen, and I want everyone to understand that when I made that just terrific trade with more is better, we went back and forth like 5-6 times. I can't tell you how many times we went back and forth. But he lost that bet. He lost that betting war. And I just want everyone to know that Did You Call Me says in the chat, he has audacity to say, I don't know how to trade. And I go on and I win 2 in a row, baby.
Yeah, no, he did improve his team. I have to give him that. There's no arguing that.
Hey, another comment about that. Did you call me? Is saying that he's going to be 3-0 at the end of this NBA fantasy week. He's playing me, by the way.
Yeah, so that's a no-brainer. I have the best team in that basketball league. There's a couple guys in there with a good team, but I have the best.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, but we'll get into basketball here in a little bit. But as far as football is concerned, is there any IR concerns, any injuries that we're concerned about that the people should know about? That, if they're injured, they're still injured. Should we hold on to these guys or should we get rid of them? Is there any players like that we're thinking about or looking at right now?
I've held on to TY this whole year, and he's on the IR still. He got back on it after he got off of it. He's one of those guys that he can perform if he's out there, but he hasn't been performing. So I really don't know what to do with him. I don't think I'm going to start him the rest of the year. I'm going to keep him on my bench. You never know about McCaffrey. I don't know if he's going to come back healthy or not. Henry's out the rest of the season. I picked up McNichols a couple weeks ago because I just saw that happening. Henry was just touching the ball too much. No matter how big he is, how big of a workhorse, eventually you're going to go down if you're getting that many carries. It's just impossible. Same thing with McCaffrey. They gave McCaffrey 70 touches through the air and on the ground, and then he goes down. It's like you got to spread the ball out or you guys are going to get hurt. It's inevitable.
Mm-hmm.
So Sam Darnold went down as well. Defense wise, there's a couple line. Levante David this is his first week back from being unhealthy for most of the season, to be honest, but I think he performed pretty well this week. There's some guys here and there. I mean, these teams are getting shook up a little bit. There wasn't too much at the trade deadline. It was a little bit boring, to be honest. Devontae Adams is still on the COVID reserve list, so we'll see if he comes off in time to play this week. Lazard did already, so if anybody picked up Lazard after that good week and then had to sit him because of COVID, he'll be back this week. I'm not sure about Devontae Adams as of right now, though.
Yeah, it's looking questionable. Go ahead, Smitty.
Personally for me, there's talk that Carson wants to return to practice. He's on my team, so I'm going to talk about him. He wants to return to practice, but there's been some rumors that he may not return for the rest of the season. With these injuries, they're unfortunate. They're unpredictable. Obviously, like I said, Henry's out. There's still an opportunity that some of these players may come back, like Robinson. He I guess was lucky from his minor injury there. And then the question is Barkley. I think Barkley, I mean, he's going to come back. He's going to try to come back from that high ankle sprain there. But, at that point, if Barkley is on your team, it's probably already too late. So when he gets back, it's not going to matter. It is important to win right now. So.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It depends on if you draft handcuffs too, or if you pick up handcuffs right after the draft. Like if you picked up Booker, and you have Barkley, you can still win right now while he's hurt. Same thing if you had Madison when Cook was down, or vice versa. But if you don't have those guys, then you're screwed. And another IR spot that I did mention for a quick second was the Kareem Hunt's going down, and that's going to help the Nick Chubb owners a lot. And if you picked up that other backup, I mean, he did score a touchdown last week. It seems like the Browns are still going to do the dual backfield, but Nick Chubb's going to get 80% of the work, and he's definitely going to be scoring some points.
Well, he's got to get back to fully healthy.
Yeah, but he's got time, and with Kareem Hunt staying down, these weeks are important, but as long as you win, like you're on a 2-win streak right now, as long as you win another game or two during this time and he comes back in a week or two fully healthy, you'll be fine. So that's what I'd say with that. And now if John wants to pull up the basketball league real quick, we'll dive into that. Yeah, keeping it short and sweet this week, guys. We're introducing our new analyst. We're going through some changes as a company, too. Little insight. We're actually looking at a little bit of office space to be able to start recording this stuff in the office. We're going the whole 10 yards, but with the green screens, everything across the board, new cameras. So you guys are going to be seeing some new changes across the next couple of months, too. Like we've stated a couple of times. Just stay with us, stay grinding. You guys are going to see a lot of changes along the way. But in these standings right here, what you're going to see is there's only 2 1-1 teams. There's a good amount of 2-0 teams, and there's a couple 0-2. So it's kind of surprising to me. Yeah, I whooped on him one week, worked on Big Red the other week, and now it's about to be Stainer's going to be my third victim.
You know what's weak about this is that you can't even – wait, are you on the computer, John, with that?
I'm on the computer. Yes.
You are. Why is mine not loading?
Might take a second. It might take a second.
All right, can you see the screen that I'm sharing? For those of you guys watching live, you guys, if you're listening to this podcast on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify, you're not going to know what we're talking about, but we're looking at the screen right now. Smitty, do you see the screen that I'm sharing right now?
Oh, yeah, I see your screen. Yeah, but if I...
yeah, you can't click off of it. Yeah, you got to just stay on. He'll scroll through.
Check the screen out real quick here. That's what mine says. See that?
You got to go to league. Now scroll down.
No draft position. What the hell?
It's not the same. It's not formatted for the basketball fantasy for the computer like it is on NFL.
Well, there's my point.
Okay.
You know, navigation. I mean, I get that this app or Sleeper is, just like GSN. It's in the works. It's growing. So I think this is going to be a nice platform to use in the future and now, obviously.
It will.
Yeah,
they're still figuring it out too, as far as basketball is concerned, and just getting basketball format. I mean, you think it would be an easy thing to do, but behind the scenes, I'm sure it's a lot more difficult than meets the eye. But yeah, I had a couple tough losses, and if you guys saw me in the chat, you two specifically, you kind of saw my disgruntled attitude towards the entire fantasy landscape across the board. Everywhere, every sport, everything considered, and it's just maybe you can call me being butthurt or whatever you want to call it, but I'm a little pissed.
Yeah, it happens. I mean, you think you draft the right team, then you start off slow. But the thing about basketball is
close losses. I can see if I'm getting blown out.
Yeah,
it's a close loss. I'm like within 5 points, within 3 points, I'm losing. It's tough.
And then it's important too. What Stainer said is that those rebounds count a lot. The rebounds and assists, the guys who get the triple doubles, those are really start helping your team. And if it's only a 10-point triple double, you're going to get more points than if somebody dropped 30 points. So
definitely.
And yeah, something to touch on too for basketball is the season's way long. We got a long season ahead of ourselves here, so we're talking plenty of time. You can start off 0-5 and still make playoffs very easily.
Yeah, how many weeks we got of that?
A lot. And the thing about the waiver wire is, I see your comment right there, is it's hard with the 12-man leagues for basketball because the teams are deep. So you're definitely right. It's definitely hard. That's where the bench comes into play. And the thing about basketball too, because last year was my first fantasy basketball league, to be honest. Or I did one a couple years ago, but last year was the first year I took serious. And I will say that it does come into play is just trading benches more than in football. In football, you don't see too many people trade like 2 bench positions for 2 bench positions, but in basketball, it definitely helps your team a lot more because there's going to be a lot of injuries. Like one guy is going to sit out 8 weeks randomly, or 8 games randomly, or 4 games randomly. And you're going to be like, dang, what am I going to do? I should trade this bench guy for this bench guy to make up for it if somebody else is weak in point guard bench. So that definitely comes into factor because guys will randomly miss basketball games. If LeBron James rest for 8 weeks in the second half of the season, whoever owns LeBron James is going to be screwed, but there's a high possibility that could happen. Or if they know they're going to make the playoffs and Anthony Davis is feeling sore, they're going to sit Anthony Davis the last month of basketball. It's just what teams do.
Mm-hmm.
So that all comes into a factor too down the road.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm not like the biggest fan of fantasy basketball. I mean, it's fun to do, and
we're just getting our feet wet this year too. Yeah, next year will be a lot different.
I actually really like it. I like the dynamic of fantasy basketball. Seth, maybe you can explain this to me a little bit better. What does that percentage? You know how you can pick a game for your player to play that week. What does the higher percentage mean compared to
that's just the percentage of other people picking it who own him in Sleeper. Okay. That's what Sleeper does. It just gives you other people's insight to it. It's kind of just matchup based. I use it sometimes. I honestly do use it a lot, but sometimes if I know that like Anthony Davis is kind of going day to day right now, and Christian Wood, like let's say randomly plays the Lakers, and I just have Christian Wood on my team, I'm going to play him earlier in the week than later in the week before Anthony Davis gets healthy again. You know what I mean?
Right.
So there's stuff like that a lot of people don't take into account, but that helps. One thing I wanted to say too for the viewers and the people that are going to listen later is we got, how I said, new stuff coming. We got a full brand new relaunched website launching this month. Got a guy working on it right now. It's also going to be launching with 12 to 20 items first day of gear, from hats, hoodies, t-shirts, as well as we're going to be dropping new items monthly. At least 5 new items will be dropping every month. There'll be a pre-order basis, so you put your order in online, have it made up and shipped to your house within X amount of days. We're going to dial all that in with the website being launched. So we got a lot of new stuff coming. A lot of new stuff's going to be coming fast. So just from the fantasy podcast too, we got an NFL podcast launching, which me and Stainer up there will be the host of that one. John's going to be having his golf podcast come out. We got a bi-monthly UFC channel launching. That one's going to be just strictly on our YouTube. That's not going to be podcast based. So there's a lot of stuff coming from Office Space, green screens, cameras, new hosts, new channels, new website, new clothes. Just everybody stay along for the ride.
Yeah, it's a lot of things coming together at once. It's similar to the sports eclipse, where you have all these different sports going on. You got MLB, you got NFL, you got college football, you got hockey starting up. Things like that all happening at once. It's very similar what's happening within Gin Promotions and the Gin Sports Network. It's really a lot going on. So stay tuned and stay along with us for the ride. It's going to be a bumpy one, but we're going to have a hell of a time. And yeah, you can say you were here with us in the early stages. So that's something to be said about yourselves and about everyone around you that's involved. So good stuff. Good stuff. All right, we'll start this segment on for closing statements. Do you guys got anything left you want to say before we sign off today?
Yeah, I got it.
All right, let's go ahead. You first. Then I was going to say let's do Super Bowl predictions after that.
I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about this 3-5 fantasy team here real quick. Expecting to be in the playoffs. I need to make one more trade. If I can complete one more trade, expecting the playoffs. That's all I got to say.
I feel that way in another league, in my defensive league. I've talked about it a few times on here. I need a linebacker bad. If I can get a trade for a linebacker on there, I'm set. That's my weakest thing right now. It was running back, but I picked up McNichols because the guy didn't have the handcuff, and Henry went down. So now I got McNichols as a starter. So
look, honestly, I need Cody to accept this trade. I mean, I think it's a decent trade. You guys want to hear what it is?
Yeah, go ahead. Say no. You can say it. Yeah, say it.
All right. So I'm asking for Najee Harris, and I'm gonna give him Cooper Kupp first off.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm gonna give him some other guys, right? Just some fillers, you know. You got a pie, you got apple pie, you got a little cinnamon.
You got a running back filler in there?
I'm giving him Adrian Peterson. We don't know what he's gonna do. Okay, I'm giving him. I'm gonna give him Evan Ingram. All right, and then I'm gonna give Kenneth Gainwell.
Honestly, that's not a bad trade either side. It depends if Cody has somebody to replace Harris, because Cooper Kupp's on pace to be the #1 all-time scoring wide receiver ever.
Right.
And Najee Harris is also balling, and you're also replacing – running backs are harder to find, but you're replacing it with a bad hit. It depends. What's going to matter if he accepts it is if he has another running back that's
– well, he's got Tony Pollard on the bench. I'm giving him –
who's his second running back on his starter lineup?
Second running back is Devontae Booker.
Yeah. Yes, but Saquon Barkley's coming back, so who else does he have?
No one.
Who's in his flex?
T.Y. Hilton and Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, he won't do it. That's not a bad trade. But he just physically won't be able to do it for his team. But, I mean, you offered him Cooper Kupp, so I will say that's fair. If you're looking for a running back and you offered me Cooper Kupp, we could talk.
Let me see. Who do you got on your team real quick?
Let's see if we can work out a trade on live real quick.
Yeah. Let me see.
Commissioner. Yeah, commissioner negotiations happening.
See, the only one I would want is Alvin Kamara, but
you'd have to upgrade the people you're giving me because he's the #1 running back.
Of course he's the #1 running back. Anyway, you think I'm going to give you Cooper Kupp for Chase Edmonds? Come on now.
Well, what if we did Chase Edmonds just had 17 last week.
I'm not going to give you Cooper Kupp for anyone but Kamara. You can ask for someone else on my team. You're going to catch a cold day in hell.
All right, what about?
I don't have a lot I can give up, but I do have a couple options, so that's always nice.
Williams and Darrell Williams from Kansas City at 17 last week, 23 a couple weeks ago before that.
Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, I know. I won't be able. There's no way I'd be able to do it either. But you need to find somebody that's got two strong running backs.
Just see Jesus Christ real quick.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, Chase Edmonds is doing good. He's number 17 running back. But he's not worth Cooper Kupp. I mean, no, it's just he's not. I know he's not worth Cooper Kupp, but he is doing good.
Oh man, that's rough over there. That's rough scenes for Jesus Christ here.
I'll trade Pat Mahomes.
Yeah, he's
talk about a letdown. Year. Talk about an absolute.
Yeah,
letdown.
it is. It is. Yeah, he's a letdown. There you go.
Jeez, oh Pete.
So anyways,
I feel like I know Seth wants Jalen Hurts. I'll give Jalen Hurts up too.
I got Josh Allen.
Dude, I'll take Josh Allen for Pat Mahomes and Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, right. Play him on his Eagles fandom there.
I might even throw in Kareem Hunt too.
Honestly though, Seth, I mean, you can say that. Seth, you can say that Barkley's coming back. Now that's not for certain, but what you can say is Booker is a solid running back number 2, who is now running back number 1. You know, he. I mean, with the way the Giants play, he's a solid running back number 2 there.
Yeah, Barkley is coming back though. They said that high ankle sprain was similar to a basketball high ankle sprain, not a football high ankle sprain. So maybe if it's not this week, I'm not guaranteeing him this week. But he said we're still only halfway through the fantasy season. He's coming back. Click on Mike Lee's team. Who's on his team?
Am I looking?
Murray and Henry. Oh, he's screwed now, though. Who's his backup running back? Oh, yeah. Josh Jacobs isn't playing either. He's going to say goodbye to that number 1 seed. No more Derrick Henry out for the season.
Who's that?
Division 1's going to be wide open.
The person in first in Division 1.
Oh, so wait. I'm in that division, ain't I?
Yeah, you're in 4th. I think it's set up to 8 for playoffs anyway. So now,
it's up to 6. Yeah. So there's a lot of room.
Well, we can do a group. Well, either way, we can do a group vote because this wasn't voted on beforehand on 6 or 8.
I quite frankly, I think that it's too late to do that. You got.
Yeah, that's fine. We don't have to. I just said we could. I said we could if we did. I wasn't going to do that, but I said if we heard enough complaints from everybody in there, we could have. I didn't want to change it.
Oh, saying that there's not enough.
Yeah, like I'm saying if everybody in the league strictly said we all want 8, I would change it. I didn't want to change it in the middle of the season, but I'm saying if like you, John, and all 9 other people said let's change it to 8, then
there is 8, so there is already.
Oh, okay. I thought you said 6. Oh, okay.
I'm good.
No, I wasn't going to change it back to 6. Yeah, that's why I wanted it at 8. That's what I thought it was. That's why I was saying that when you said it was 6. I was like, damn it, most people are probably going to want 8. But yeah, so top 4 in each division make it. So that's what you got to realize. This league still is wide open. Even the 1-win team major could technically still get into the 4th seed.
Shit, maybe.
If Gronk comes back and Gronk goes back to 2 touchdowns a game like he did in the beginning of the season.
Your analogy that you used with Anthony Davis and making the playoffs and benching for the month is the same thing you can use for.
No, you're right. 100%. No, you're 100. That's a great take. Yeah.
Unfortunately, Gronk is an old. He's done, and probably after this year, man, that guy's retiring.
Yeah. No, I'm 100% with you. No, you're right. No, that was a good analogy. All right, guys. Well, I think that's good enough for me this week. We're gonna keep it short and simple. Like I said, we got new stuff coming, guys. Keep an eye out. We're going to have segments for this fantasy channel next week, too, where it's going to be more directed towards betting for week 2. At least 25% of the show is going to now be based on daily lineups or player props or game props, parlays, and everything like that.
Yeah, yes, I think the people are going to see a lot of good videos.
Yeah, a lot of good videos are going to come. We got the vlogs coming out. It's going to be a lot going on, a lot coming at you hot and heavy. Quick and clean, really. So
I'm coming at you dirty, baby.
Stainer's gonna come at you. He's gonna leave stains all over the place. It's gonna be messy.
That was funny.
It's gonna be messy.
Because he said he's gonna run dirty, messy and dirty.
Yes, sir. Don't be wearing white
from the Stainer. Good stuff. All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us tonight. If you're listening or watching live, I'm your host as always, John J. II, with Seth Conklin and Brandon Smith. Have a great night.